Welcome back to Game 2, where Invictus are up 1-0 over the European representative of G2 Esports. And coming into the second game, G2 have elected to play on the red side.
Already a surprise, because G2 blue side was kind of the big thing in the RNG series. Right? G2 needed the blue side to win. Eventually, they did win on the red side, but the unique thing about blue side is you can kind of set the tempo of the ban phase, and then the enemy team has to decide, can we get the target bans like the Heimerdinger, but also balance the OPs that G2 flex so well? This time they're choosing red side. We already saw on red side, we had questions for their draft. I think they have to be in better order specifically about the final pick, because getting value out of flex carries has been G2's mantra all the way to the semifinal. They need to find a way to return to that.
Yeah, it really does make especially that final pick so important. But if they can actually, get a good draft, be very confident going into the game. We saw in their series against RNG, they lost games 1 and 3 very heavily, but they were able to bounce back after both. They won game 2, they won game 4, and they closed out that series. So this is a team that has a lot of mental fortitude. We'll see if they can actually display that here today.
All right, strong mental, the name of the game for G2, wanting to tie this series up. Let's see how it goes down as Invictus Gaming decide, nope, not risking the Heimerdinger, not even entertaining that thought for a second, banning that away first and foremost as G2 decide the Xayah ban was a good call last time around. They'll continue with that plan here as well. Nocturne also going to be repeated.
I think G2 are going to be the one with the onus for the adjustments, both in the bans, and if the bans are the same, then you'd have to think Wunder or Jankos would lock in the Lucian and force JackeyLove onto a 4th pick. But to me, that's not the route to victory, but it seems to be, so far at least, the preparation, no changes from IG.
Why would you change it if it's working so well? IG's going to leave it there, but now G2 will switch things up a little bit. They're taking the Akali off the table. They're like, nope, TheShy was way too much on that pick. We're not going to let him have it again. And that means that Kai'Sa will be left up instead.
Yeah, now we see, do they go to the Aatrox here? Do they go for something like the Kai'Sa if they're really valuing that? If you don't pick the Aatrox, you're certainly assuming G2 will. They are very happy to play it in either of their solo lanes. And the Alistar as the first pick answer, I definitely think we could see a Tahm Kench game here from Wadid, and it has been so good for him in the playoffs.
And this is the game state that when I was doing the mock pick and bans, I thought would be more likely, because IG, despite having TheShy, have had him on Scion duty more often than not. So first picking into the Alistar, something G2 can work around, and now let's see if the flex picks that are open, something like an Irelia or a power pick like LeBlanc, will be focused on by the side of G2.
Well, we'll see how the Aatrox works out for G2 as well. Got bullied very hard in game number 1 by the Jayce from Rookie. The Tahm Kench will be locked in for Wadid, and I have been a fan of this guy's Kench play the entire tournament. Not only have his Devours been on point in the fights, but his macro sense of how to use the Abyssal Voyage and move people around has worked so well with G2's playstyle. I
think we may see TK and Jhin as the bottom lane here for G2. That would be something that could give them a little bit more laning power. I'm really interested to see if IG is going to go back to the Lucian if they want to try to play aggressive in that bottom side, which could prompt the Jhin, or if they're willing to go Kai'Sa, which could mean we get a Sivir answer.
And Alistar as a pick in general kind of negates Sivir because the headbutt Pulverize goes through the spell shield, so you really hate to draft Sivir into Alistar, so just given that reality, expecting an adjustment coming through from the side of G2. We wondered about the LeBlanc candidacy, of course, not a flex pick, but certainly a power pick. The audience here in Gwangju get hyped about it. Rookie jumping on the LeBlanc is always a highlight.
All right, I've just been informed that there was actually a mispick, and we're going to be dropping out of Champ Select to restart things here. Not sure exactly
the Taliyah, perhaps?
There. I don't know for sure. I haven't been informed just yet. I'll make sure to update you guys as soon as we know, but Champion Select is going to be remade right now. So with Champion Select being remade, it will most likely be remade up until the point of the mispick. So talk to me a little bit about how you guys are feeling, what you want to see from G2 specifically moving forward from here.
Well, I mean, we are, somewhat expecting, the same first couple picks, right? I do think that it's going to come down to if they can get a solo lane answer.
We're back in, I guess.
I guess it's just going to continue. Okay, so
I've been informed it was a miscommunication, and they're going to play through it.
Okay, great. Well, the Jhin, as we were somewhat expecting here, is going to be the lock-in. Papa Smithy talked about, the Alistar and the interactions there with Sivir. But I do think it comes back to what we were talking about earlier. You must have a winning solo lane here for IG. We know what Rookie is going to be playing. If Perkz is comfortable playing the Aatrox into that or not, I am expecting he is not, but this could be IG trying to force their hand.
Now, comfort has been an interesting thing in the jungle, because we thought that Xin Zhao could be as early as first pick priority. if Hjarnan picks up the Xinjiao pick for Jankos, because we expect the flex to be done until the final pick on red side, then the Jarvan will probably come out again. Actually, the Taliyah is already there, so that's probably going to be the jungle pick. They're focusing on 80 carries here, and now we're in a case of, okay, what you got next, JackeyLove?
All right, Jackie, we banned 2 of your most played champions last time. This time we're going to ban 3 of your most played champions. G2 stepping it up. 3 is more than 2. Got the quick math on that one, and we'll see if that ends up being the secret for success.
Expecting Olaf here because of the Taliyah jungle matchup. Olaf does very well into it, but they're going to hide their jungle and power pick Irelia instead. It's very, very interesting to see. There's a small chance, I guess, you could go super tricky and flex the Aatrox into the jungle, but that would be very much a throwback.
I think IG goes Fiora. Fiora is great into actually both of these matchups. TheShy is an incredible Fiora player. We'll see if he does it.
I mean, we already saw TheShy playing Fiora in the quarterfinal against KT. It was game number
Jayce,
3,
okay.
and he completely destroyed Smeb's Irelia with it, was able to find outplays all over the place, but it looks like Jayce will be locked in the 2nd game in a row here for IG.
But Ezreal, Fiora gets there eventually. Let me present 2 of the strongest possible
Who gets there at
solo
level
lane.
1?
Jayce and
Yeah.
the LeBlanc are about as powerful as can be. Fiora takes time. These 2 champions dominate early, and it seems like IG is saying, pre-30 minutes, that's our playground.
All right, Ezreal, a little bit surprising to me. Not one that was played a ton by JackeyLove throughout the year. And it was maybe thinking of something like a Varus that could have come through. But what this does give them is a tremendous amount of safety on the bottom side of the map and allows them to play very heavily through these solo lanes that, as you said, are immediate power. And that is really how they dominated in game number 1. So G2, I feel so much of this is going to come down to Jankos, to his pathing. And on the Gragas, you feel like he has to have effectiveness early on to swing some of these matchups.
But we're talking real early. 2v2 with any pairing of Aatrox, Gragas, Irelia versus Jayce, Taliyah, LeBlanc. So much burst damage, a lot of momentum, a lot of mobility. This is going to be so tricky to pull off. And Gragas usually wants to farm, get boots, get his Predator online. Will this game still be in the same state when that happens?
A little bit of a change in philosophy here from G2 Esports as well. We saw last time they said, okay, deny Ning the Xinjiao pick. Give that over to Jankos. We'll see what he can do on that. This time around, they're saying, all right, we're not going with the denial plan. Instead, we're putting Jankos on the Gragas, his most played champion so far at Worlds. We want our guy to be comfortable instead and see if he can start facilitating things that way.
But it is very tough because we saw in game number 1, to no fault of Jankos, Ning was always in his face taking away his camps because the solo lanes were losing. So if your solo laners are getting pushed in, are getting bullied, then you don't have even an opportunity oftentimes to challenge for those camps.
And when it comes to the agency of the melee carries who need some time against the ranged assassins, they both need time to get going. So the only person who really can have a playstyle change, you'd think, has to be the jungle. How will Jankos approach it? Seems to me to be the biggest tipping point, because otherwise, farming in the bot lane heavily expected. To me, the only independent variable, if we're applying the scientific formula, kind of has to be the Gragas to change the tune of game number 2.
As we load onto Summoner's Rift for the 2nd time today, the name of the game is Momentum for Invictus Gaming. Carry on after that incredible performance in game number 1, and for G2, it's all about the mental reset. Game number 1 didn't matter. Wash that one away from your mind. Come out onto Summoner's Rift strong and ready to go for this one to tie this series up. IG once again going to be playing from the blue side. G2 on the red as they head out, fanning out towards the river.
Let's see how IG and G2 focus on this early game. One thing I do note is that G2 have a summoner heal. There's no summoner heal on the side of IG. Ezreal happy to take teleport. Usually you'll see an unsealed spellbook support with heal, but in this case it's Aftershock Ignite. So maybe there's a window for G2 to actually play through bot side and actually get something going in that lane.
JackeyLove is also a player who is known for some incredibly aggressive tendencies. On a champion like Ezreal, it doesn't seem to quite fit as much as it does with a champion like Lucian. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on how well he performs, especially considering he's also got to deal with the fact that Wadid can devour people to safety.
Worth noting that JackeyLove kind of has to peel for himself and everyone else diving straight into the backline. So kind of has that thankless task of getting something done on his 4th string AD carry after 3 target bans. At least safety and the chance to self-peel is available with the Ezreal.
And you will say that though, you know, especially in North America, we often see Ezreal picked to kind of lose lane gracefully, to play defensively. Some of these AD carries can play it so exceptionally well. And I have to feel like you know, for an Iceborne game, this is incredible. When you look at Jhin, when you look at, you know, Perkz on the Irelia, Wunder on the Aatrox, that's 3 physical damage dealers, and you'll be so strong on 2 items with that Iceborne that you could really look to turn it up and play aggressive.
I've been seeing these trades in the mid lane, right?
Yeah, turning it up, playing aggressive. Perkz at level 1 says, hey, get out of my lane. This is not going to be like last time.
But to your point, because usually you see a lot of physical damage dealers and you say, oh boy, late game 1 damage type, that's going to be a problem. Do remember all squishies on the side of IG, so no one's going to be stacking resist and health, so the dance of the game just being decided by 35 minutes is not happening when it comes to scaling of physical damage.
Certainly won't be, but you will always have, you know, the efficiencies.
Sure.
You can grab the Ninja Heavies here, you can grab the Iceborne and get these little edges, so we'll see how G2 is going to be able to handle it. You know, Wunder coming off a rough game number 1, already being bullied pretty heavily by the Jayce, and we'll see how much of this farm he can pick up, and also if Jankos wants to make a really early visit, because he is on the top side of the map. But he's so low.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
very
no
low HP. That doesn't seem like the kind of
You can't.
threshold you'd want to walk into a Jayce lane with.
One of the pathing choices from Jankos I spectated watching back the quarters is he often skips over blue buff for a long time when he plays the Gragas in particular. Not something Ning has scoped out, but if he just expected Jankos to return to his usual route, the blue buff's actually going to be free because they have mid lane pressure and the ability to pick it up.
And now this is actually a very risky decision here from Jankos. He already full cleared top, and he bought Predator Boots. He's going straight top, so he essentially has to make this gank work, otherwise he's going to fall way behind.
Perkz going in onto Rookie here, but Taliyah is there. The seismic shove makes it happen in first blood.
Oh,
Goes
he
for
lives!
IG. Rookie lives through it. Ning making the choice to stay, and it pays off huge.
This is so big, though. You can see Ning is working his way up, but he pulls it off.
TheShy in some trouble. Predator Gragas coming around. The hammer to deny things. TheShy flattening himself backwards. Still going to be kept alive for now. Ning's making his way in. It's going to be seismic shove. It's damage coming down, but it's only going to be a kill. Over to G2 for now. Jankos having to flash away, trying to keep himself alive. Chain's not going to do it. Ning can't find the follow-up, and that's G2 making it 1-for-1 overall, while bottom side, 2v2 breaks out. Baolan's taken very, very low. Wadid looking to find a couple more auto attacks. Needs that stun with that tongue, and there you go. Wadid takes him down.
That was so important at the end that they get a 2v2 kill against IG. The teleport back in. Ning is still here.
Seismic shove gonna throw Jankos back. The damage continues coming out from the threaded volley, and Ning picks up a second for Invictus Gaming.
If they can dive Wunder here with no TP, no flash under his turret, doesn't look like they're going to try, so he will be able to, you know, collect this gold, and getting that first blood, getting that kill rather onto him is so important for G2's chances. Jankos had to make that gank work. This was just such a risky path.
Man, there's so much to unpack already very early into this game. We'll talk about the mid lane first. This is Ning waiting in the brush. We already noted that Gragas wasn't going to be there for a counter gank. He was buying to get his Predator Boots online. Perkz goes in. He sees a half-health LeBlanc, and he goes for the call of, well, if the jungler isn't here, a solo kill is super likely. The burst damage is critical. The health, I believe, is 32 on that final tick. The action goes top lane, but we still got bot lane action to get to later.
Yeah, I mean, TheShy here trying to turn this around, looking for the kill. Ning flashing in, does land the seismic shove, but then down on the bottom side, it's Baolan who does get aggressive, and G2 just turning around.
Just a straight laning mistake from Baolan. Remember, we said at the start, no heal on the Ezreal for any sort of all-in play. Tahm Kench Devour is available. This gets all-in by Wadid, ends up being a clear one. The summoner advantage helps. We thought a gank would be needed to get the 2v2 rolling. That's a 2v2 kill for the side of G2.
And this game is off to a pretty explosive start. 5 minutes in, 4 kills so far. IG looking for a chance to make something happen here onto Perkz. Seismic Shove gonna throw it back. Good job utilizing that W to keep himself alive for now. But he's still gonna be sent home.
Yeah, Wadid, right place, right time, as TheShy taking a lot of damage there.
TheShy constantly going aggressive in this matchup, trying to do what Rookie did to Perkz in game number 1, and always keep Wunder on that back foot.
But consider once again, you look at the CS numbers, they're indicative of the matchups we laid out. Jayce greater than Aatrox early, LeBlanc greater than Irelia early. Gragas already has to be in the right spot, and TheShy's just gone for an all-in.
Wunder's taken very low. Remember, he doesn't have a world ender. He can't keep himself alive, and TheShy picks up the solo kill.
And you have to feel like Wunder needed to play it more defensively. He got the early kill. He could have perhaps tried to farm this out, tried to play it more passively. Instead, he's scrapping with TheShy, and TheShy makes him pay.
And it does feel like, oh, as in the mid lane, Perkz can take a lot of damage. No Ignite available to kill him off, but again, we saw Wunder and Perkz styling on RNG solo laners. Let Me certainly was a step off the pace. He wasn't going to be flexing Irelia to the top side, so no surprises that Wunder could get advantages there. TheShy is such a different animal. It was so obvious they'd start him over Duke, and they're paying off the rewards also with his flexible carry champion pool in a carry versus carry matchup.
They really are, but now you have to give credit to G2 and their bottom lane. This point of power that has come from them, they get the 2v2 kill in a world where your solo lanes are struggling, where they are behind. You know, having this point of power in the bottom side is so critical for G2, and these two players have provided a lot of stability for the team.
First Drake on the table is also Infernal, so they can grab themselves that with some of the bottom side control. Could go a long way this time around as Perkz continues trying to trade with Rookie here. Ning making his way towards the mid lane yet again. Not going to go after Perkz just yet. Wadid also coming in from around the side to clear out some of that vision. Rookie continues going forward, and this LeBlanc has been a pretty important pick for both of these players so far. They both played it in their game 5s in the quarterfinals to get themselves the win. Perkz obviously popped off way harder on it in his game 5, but Rookie is no stranger to the champion.
Definitely not. And I do really like the buy here, though, from Perkz. He's actually going to go straight to a Wit's End, especially when Rookie is investing in the early flat spell penetration. This is going to negate all of that and more, so it really should help to give Perkz some stability in this laning phase and allow him to farm it out.
And one counterpoint you might say is, oh, but what about sending Jayce mid lane? You don't want LeBlanc top lane, so that doesn't really work out in terms of lane assignments. And every time we see TheShy, we say, yep, keep him top lane, he's doing his job.
Yeah, everything's going pretty well for him up there as Rookie eats some damage there from Perkz for free. Not able to respond in time considering Perkz has those passive stacks up. That's not a fight you want to take in melee range as buffs are going to be coming up for the second time here. You can see Rookie moving over towards his blue, but Ning's not going for that just yet. Both junglers hanging around the top side of the map here. Ning knows something's going on. Jankos walking into the vision here from the side of Invictus Gaming. Moves up to try to take that down. So the Shock Blast finds its way onto him, but they don't want to take any sort of a 2v2, knowing that Perkz could immediately come up and turn the tides. And G2 will just bring that mid laner back to mid as Wadid is still hovering around the area.
Yeah, I think Wadid has been doing a great job. The fact that they're not being bullied in the bottom lane this time around, that they're not under turret, has unlocked him. And he has made, 3-4 trips to this mid lane, helping to protect Perkz, to clear out vision, to play some for him, and trying to keep him safe.
Speaking of being kept safe, Wunder is not doing a fantastic job of that as he has to go home yet again. TheShy just decimating this match.
That's why I was surprised to see the Gragas. Gragas has kind of one all-in attempt with the Predator, and then the resting state is going to be scenarios like this where Taliyah could be popping over at any moment, where the Jayce is winning the 1v1 matchup so hard. Every gank Jankos shows up for kind of needs to come off, otherwise the resting pressure for the solo lanes in particular is off the charts for IG.
See G2 moving up here towards that control ward. Ning waiting nearby, seismic shove at the ready. Doesn't look like G2's going to stick around for this one. They smell that something's going on here. They are at least going to wait until Jankos makes his way down. Remember, it was a 3v3 bottom lane in game number 1 that G2 was able to turn around for themselves. We'll see if they can do it here again.
And Jankos has body slam flash as well as ult, so if he gets the engage,
he looked to go after it, but man, you hate to see it.
Yeah, he mistimed the flash after the body slam. He did not get enough distance, so he doesn't actually connect with JackeyLove. It looks like there, and it's an easy shift away for JackeyLove with some really quick reactions.
It's one of those pressure moments where you know you need to make the play, find a winning lane, take over the bottom side of the map. Top side's already a bit of a struggle. Getting in your own head, those Spectres can actually be one of the greatest kind of things working against you. Wadid's actually going to get collapsed on here.
Wadid flashing over the wall just in time to keep himself safe from that collapse, but as you were talking about, when you're in a situation and you know every single gank has to count, every big cooldown has to matter, and you use the flash and the ultimate like that to get absolutely nothing, Jankos really putting himself in a bad spot on that one as Perkz gets outplayed and danced around here in the mid lane by Rookie.
Nothing more literal about boxing with shadows than when you face a LeBlanc in the mid lane, but just trying to absorb that pressure as much as possible. Seeing the roam down here, Taliyah's on the way.
All right, bottom side, 3v3. Taliyah's gonna be in some trouble though. Ning dropped down to about half HP. Hjarnan having to run away now as well. JackeyLove gonna be brought down to about 200. Wookie making his way down into the fight. IG just trying to buy enough time for the mid laner to make that rotation. Nobody dies, but IG is very low.
Yeah, IG didn't realize that Jankos was still around. So, in goes Ning, but he immediately has to flash back out as the CC was landed on him, and it was so critical because Jankos hitting the body slam on Ning meant the seismic shove was not in time on Hjarnan.
It was fast thinking. There's stopwatch on Gragas and Tahm Kench. They just wasn't going to burst one person in time. Able to move away. It felt like IG had a win-win because they also had river control for LeBlanc to rotate first. So actually that's a point to the side of G2. There's some cooldowns are down, and they do absorb pressure that in the previous game was only turning into kills.
Now, speaking of G2 doing a better job than last game, they're having themselves a better early game, 2 to 3 in the kills, but look at the gold. It's still 1,500 going the way of IG, despite the fact that no turrets have been taken, and the name of the game is farm. Top lane, really big win up there for TheShy. Jungle's being out-farmed, mid lane's being out-farmed, bottom lane is even.
But the turrets aren't rolling down. Bot lane was isolated. We did was mid lane. We saw Jhin and Ezreal happily farming next to each other. That's already an improvement in game state for G2. There is once again, like we talked about in game 1, light at the end of the tunnel in terms of the split push with items. You see 18,400 gold in the game for G2. If we're at a similar kind of gold lead at 30,000 gold into the game, maybe 3,000 gold behind IG, the game state and the lane assignments available are a lot more favorable for G2.
Yeah, and while Perkz is a little bit behind Rookie, last game he was 30-40 CS behind at 9 minutes. This is nowhere close to that, so certainly is hanging in there a lot better this time around.
Making these adaptations, working out so far for G2. And honestly, this team, man, remember, these guys were the 3rd seed from the EU LCS. They had to play through the play-ins. They got 4th place in the regular summer split in EU. They got 5th/6th in the playoffs because they went 0-3 to the Misfits. Then they had to win the gauntlet. They had to go through the play-ins. They have had one hell of a journey to get here so far, so I do not expect them to go down without a fight. Topside for the dive on the Wunder. World Ender comes out, but immediately going to be popped. Resurrection only brings him back with about 200 HP, and Rookie says, I'll get rid of that second life as well.
Yeah, there's no getting out of that one for Wunder in the 3v1, so easy kill, and it will be the first turret going the way of IG, and now it becomes a question about can they continue to snowball this? Can they knock down the outers as they were in game 1? Or can G2 stabilize like they weren't able to do last time?
Definitely got a data point that says they can, but will they is the question that G2 will have a bit more agency about, because it's not 3 losing lanes. Bot lane has gone very comfortably. The Jhin and the Tahm Kench can be very flexible, roaming from, say, bot lane to mid lane. So we'll wait and see the assignments as aggressive teleport by TheShy to guarantee this Rift Herald and make some of those conditionals a bit more probable for the side of IG.
And this is the thing about IG as a team. Everything they get, I said it in game 1 and I'm reiterating it now, turns into more. They make sure that a kill doesn't just mean 300 gold in your pocket. It means structure down. It means Shelly down. It means the acceleration of this game.
It just means winning lanes. That's what winning lanes should turn into, is the next objective. You always have the onus to take it because the enemy is all walking back, is sacrificing while you're pillaging. And right now they're pillaging the Rift in a pretty big way. And we'll wait and see where that Rift Herald is actually plonked down.
And while Wunder should hit 10 here pretty soon, it always feels so bad to see that 2-level disadvantage, even if it is temporary, because it's not just the gold then. There's so many stats you are behind purely off of the experience differential.
Jankos walking into the enemy jungle, does face check Baolan, but there's not anything going to come of it. He has Wadid nearby, and Perkz had priority over the mid lane.
And G2 know there's no teleport on TheShy, so maybe an Infernal Drake play around their strong duo lane is one of the ways to actually get a trade. It hasn't been trades this game. It's been so far just IG taking the maximum in our first match. In this second match, there is the chance to actually get an Infernal setup.
And having your mid laner at half HP will put a little bit of rain on that parade as Jankos eats the unempowered Shock Blast, still loses a decent chunk of his HP on that one, as IG have decided, nope, you want the Infernal Drake, that's going to be ours too.
And that's why TheShy just walked right down, right? They bring down TheShy to mid lane, he pushes it up, he's not actually that far from getting back up to the top side because he had fully shoved in the wave before roaming down, and IG are checking all the boxes here, certainly playing like a well-oiled machine, and they know they have the mechanics, they have the individual players to make these aggressive plays and to make these sorts of strategies really shine.
Let's see what they can do bottom here as JackeyLove to be collapsed on by 3. Doesn't bother trying to spend any sort of a summoner spell to get out of that one. Knows he's dead. Defiant Dance from Perkz, going to keep him alive through that damage there against Rookie, or at least protected against some of it, as G2 will continue to push bottom side.
That was a really excellent and innovative play there by G2. Yes, you bring your jungler in with the Abyssal Void is not a new mechanic, but if you consider every other lane, there's not enough items on Aatrox or Irelia for the Gragas gank to win 2v2. So play further around bot lane. Actually get a turret this game, however, it's at the cost of the Rift Herald, forcing them to react.
All right, mid lane, it's stasis from Jankos, giving himself away from the seismic shove. Shelly's going to be pushing up on this tier 2 in the mid lane. Perkz goes in, trying to stop this from happening. Instead, he's going to be taken very low. Not quite killed, but he will find the kill with the Ignite onto Ning for the fadeaway as he walks off to the side. Also going to be a kill onto Rookie there as Wunder makes himself known in this game. IG finally going to be forced off.
That's a really big momentum because they get the bot lane turret through the minions as well. Wunder comes down, doesn't even have to flash, getting the secondary kill there. And for once, IG, whose hands have been way down into that cookie jar all series, get punished.
Yeah, and G2 are going to be able to, by the slimmest margins, they still knock down that turret in the bot lane with the minions. Perkz gets out with almost no health, and that is something that the game can really turn around on, because you talked about it, Papa Smithy. If you hit that 30k gold mark and you're only about 3k behind, hey, it starts to look a lot brighter for G2. And off the back of that play, it's looking a lot closer. And we'll see this now in our Acer Predator replay as the stopwatch comes up huge.
So we're watching the start of this play, and it looked like just the 2 turrets going to go down for IG. But watch what happens here. Perkz, even though he's level 10, goes for an all-in. He hasn't got great items, but they get a kill. Speaking of kills, though.
Meanwhile, top side, it's Wunder and Jankos on the run. Wunder trying to keep himself alive here. Doesn't have the World Ender available, and the seismic shove will seal his fate.
That was looking like a casual 1v2 there from TheShy, as it's 2 G2 members running, and we'll see if we can watch that one once more. But TheShy, being this massive point of power on the top side, still is heavily up in experience, heavily up in gold, and trying to lock Wunder down in this lane.
And even with the silver linings, turret health in the mid lane, in the inner turret, is just as low as it was in game number 1 around this time. TheShy is flexing on the top side, justifying his ranking in the top 20 as one of our best top laners. Didn't see a lot of play in summer, but Spring TheShy is back, and just at the right time.
Certainly is, and we can see now, as we are going to get to watch this replay one more time, yeah, Jankos, look at that shock blast. Just all of his health is just gone. So then Shy says, all right, well, Wunder, you're going to stay. I'll take you too.
And that's the funny thing is, Jankos gets out, and Wunder says, I'll get the CS, and then get out. Nope, no free lunches at all. It is a 1v2 until Ning just wants to get a front row seat and say, oh, what's going on here? What's going on here is only good things to the side of IG.
One more auto attack from TheShy would have killed off Jankos there. Very, very dangerous situation for G2.
Yeah, and bad goes to worse as TheShy was sitting on over 3k gold. He just bought a full Duskblade now. So, if he's doing that with 1 item, now he is on 2, and things really start to look tough when you add in the Infernal Dragon as well. You can see that Ezreal is on that 2-item power spike now, did go for the Iceborne, and that's going to be so ridiculously effective against this G2 squad.
Jankos trying to make the cask happen, but again, he's not on the mark with these ultimates. Back in Champion Select, I mentioned how this champion has been his most played throughout the tournament, but it seems like the nerves are getting the better of him.
Oh,
Here
God.
in the semifinals, as TheShy will get the better of Wunder once again. World Ender going to be used, keeping Wunder alive. TheShy trying to disengage now, but instead,
Oh,
final round! This man is a monster, and Perkz will be beaten down!
He actually kills him with the W AoE, but the damage was done earlier. Secondary member goes out. How many bad guys do you need to take down TheShy?
Mid lane, maybe Perkz' lane king, but the top lane belongs to TheShy.
TheShy looks like he's playing a single-player game, and everybody on G2 are the monsters coming after him that he is just smashing down. JackeyLove nearly going to be killed in mid lane, instead getting himself away. Wadid has to flash and devour to get Hjarnan out of there. Accelerated shock blast, not quite going to find the mark. But IG's top laner is just out of this world this game.
He is taking over this series. Game 1, he gets counterpicked, he gets ahead. Game 2, he gets the counterpick, and he is showing you how that's supposed to look. He is dominating Wunder in the top lane.
TheShy, the Korean prodigy top laner.
God.
People knew the previous Shy, who was famous on CJ, but TheShy came in as a streamer, was around WE, didn't play, but only started playing about a year ago as a replacement for Duke. His mechanical skill is his big story. The sidestep onto the ultimate there was flawless. He chases down the kill. And G2 solo laners, who were that big win condition we were looking to, are nothing compared to TheShy.
It's performances like that why people keep trying to play Jayce in NA. That is why that champion will always be seen as a possible carry, because you can do it like that if you are that damn good. And TheShy is, as Wunder has no world ender and no way out. He's taken down, and G2 just seems to be rattled.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Wunder, as he's getting picked on so heavily behind in the 1v1, and IG just keeps sending man after man after man to the top side, controlling the jungle, and Jankos,
there's the cast! That's what he's been looking for all game, and the dividends are going to be huge for G2. They've already found themselves two, but now can they get away? TheShy's come in, the cavalry has arrived, the accelerated shock blast finds its way onto two, but they won't be able to grab any kills just yet. Rookie goes over the wall.
Oh my God!
Down, credit over onto Wadid as TheShy grabs the kill into Perkz here as well. IG has managed to grab themselves two. Baolan goes in for the save and keeps Rookie alive from the shots. And IG strike right back.
It's a flying V diving the base. The Alistar flashing into the bullet that would have killed onto the LeBlanc. They're able to go into the base a second game in a row, but it started so good for G2.
An incredible cast into a three-man body slam there for Jankos, and you think, well, why is TheShy TPing in? And this is why. Look at this shock blast damage onto Hjarnan. All his health just gone, and the man is just walking straight at them, walking into the base saying, yeah, sure, Perkz, ult me. You can't come forward. You cannot challenge me at this point in the game.
We overheard the G2 comms in the Eyes on Wadid piece that was recently released, where they were talking about, hey, we beat the #1 team from China. That means we can beat the #2 team from China. But it doesn't seem that easy. Rookie goes on a rampage, kills off Jankos instantly. This team is up 7,000 gold. They're up 2 Drakes. They're up 4 turrets, and they're going to be up a second game in this series if this keeps on.
IG is just styling on them there. Rookie and TheShy have been monstrous for this team, and G2 have got to find a way to get back in this game, because it is 22 minutes. Baron is not even down, and they are getting sieged.
How do you even come back into the game at this point, though? You're practically waiting for a mistake. Your opponents are so far ahead on a LeBlanc, on a Jayce, on these champions that if they're far enough ahead of your itemization power points, you just die instantly if you walk away from the turrets, and that's the reality that G2 live in.
I mean, honestly, TheShy and Rookie are these apex predators where it feels like a nature documentary every time they come in the screen. 1v1, 1v2, just listen. And you hear the results. They're going for the all-in.
G2 are making one last-ditch effort to make this game happen. JackeyLove off the side, going to be in some trouble, taken down 1 versus 4. Wadid also going to take the same fate as IG respond. It's 1 for 1. IG are all right with it, though. They lost their AD carry. They took down the enemy support. They've still got both those big solo laners online. Accelerated shock blast going to be sidestepped there. Jankos not the victim of that one. Push continuing here on the bottom side. Baolan going in. There comes seismic shove. Jankos going to be taken very low. Shy goes unstoppable as the tier 3 turret will fall in the bottom lane. This is no Baron, by the way. They're just breaking into the base of their own will and strength. They will smash down inhibitor #1. They're pushing further onto the Nexus. G2 doesn't even feel safe defending their Nexus turrets. Hjarnan opens up the firing range, but TheShy just runs him down. Get out of your own base, he says. This Jayce is fearless, and IG continues.
TheShy's 3 levels up on everyone on the enemy team. He's a monster, a raid boss right here, and no one's taking him down.
They'll continue just constantly being forward. Perkz looks to make the dive, but Baolan is right there to turn around. TheShy is dominating the Ignite, will not find the kill. Rookie's finally shut down there by Jankos. G2 continues to defend. They have 1 Nexus turret remaining, and remaining at only 10% HP. So much damage from these IG carries, but they decide to fall back.
They are looking so ridiculously dominant, up 9,000 gold at this point. The base has been shattered. TheShy is on triple lethality items, and no one can stop this man. G2 are now hoping for a miracle.
That's what you need at this point. Going up against this guy, Death's Dance means that the burst won't be able to take him down either. He has the opportunity to stand there and leech it out. This is one of the scariest Jayces I've seen in a long time.
I think if you walk into this Death Stance, Jayce, it's going to be death for the 2 and life for the 1, because now he is in complete control of his fate in almost any scenario. Who needs wards when you're this far ahead on the Jayce? And Jayce is now a must-ban in game #3.
I mean, it's such an impossible position for G2 to play from. If you get hit by 1 shock blast, it's back to base. If Rookie gets 1 RQ on you, back to base. and they have no vision. There's no member on this squad that is tanky enough to really absorb the damage from their team. And oh my god, 26,000 damage.
He's
to 3K.
almost done more damage than the whole enemy team.
Take any 4 people on the side of G2, put them together, and they won't equal TheShy. Wunder has done the lowest damage in the game, lower than his own support. As now, the Baron will be taken. That's G2's final stand. It's a Baron up IG with a double kill onto their mid laner, pushing the base.
Have we ever had a game that's 11,000 gold and it's still 1v9 for TheShy?
TheShy could go 1v19 if the man wanted to right now. Somebody stop him. It won't be G2 though, because they have no possible way of fighting back. That's one auto attack.
He's 17!
That's 2 hits! Man, 2 hits! Third hit gonna come in now as JackeyLove makes sure that Perkz finds himself a black and white screen as he watches his Nexus fall. IG will take us to game point, but they're gonna pad the stats here a little bit first. TheShy tries to get away. He'll finally be shut down. IG decide that's enough fooling around. Let's go for the Nexus now. Burning it down. 1, 2, 3, couple more hits will do it. G2 looking to make that last stand, but the minions say no. And that's 2-0 Invictus Gaming.
And no one will leave this game not knowing the name TheShy. He has made his star on the world stage and cemented it. Again, 1v9 is usually your team struggling. His team is winning by 11,000 gold, and yet he is still the superstar of this game.
He really is, and this is a man who has been so explosive in the LPL this year. A dominant carry top lane player. This is a man who made me watch more LPL than ever before because he can pull off performances like this, because he has the champion pool and he has the skills to back it up. And G2, they could bounce back from 1 game. Can they bounce back from 2 games down?
They have to do the reverse sweep now or their journey will end here. But for more on how IG found a 2-0 lead, let's send it back to the analysts.
Thank you, Captain Flowers. Froskerin said it. If you're afraid of the Jayce in the mid lane, you better be afraid of it in the top lane too, because TheShy can play it. And we had questions about whether or not G2 would even expect that. Lo and behold, we dive into the draft here of Game 2, and the Jayce gets thrown into the top lane up against that Aatrox once again.
And I have a lot of questions, and I don't want to just start throwing shade on G2.
It's all right, throw shade.
Okay, the scouting, what happened here? You know that Jayce can be flexed. You just saw that the Jayce just blasted Aatrox in the first game, and let's run it back. I think it was a skill matchup. I got it this time.
Divisio?
He's like, nah.
I mean, listen, you pick. I love the first phase from G2 in terms of Jhin, Tahm, Kench.
Okay.
First pick Alistar helps G2 because it allows them to pick Tahm, Kench, and they won't lose the bot lane like we saw in the first game. So great setup. I don't think there's a single AD carry in the meta that will then make the Alistar lane actually win. And yet, they banned 2 AD carries in the second phase after already picking Aatrox. And people will then say, don't pick Aatrox at all. But that has been one of the best picks for them all tournament long. And if you have the ability to remove Jayce, Fiora, the 2 counter picks to it, you're in a pretty good spot.
While I do agree that I would have liked to see the Jayce banned,
yes,
this is a pick that IG hasn't played the whole World Championship. And when we talk about
last game.
pro players and stubborn people, a lot of times you need more than 1 game, especially when there's different people opting into the matchup.
Yep.
Maybe Wunder says, yeah, I can take Jayce with Aatrox. And you're going to trust him if he says that because he's dominated this World Championship. And I think when we said before the series, if this series breaks, it could break hard for Invictus because their solo lanes will win. And if G2 solo lanes don't win, they don't have much left.
Right.
And what's happened in both these games is IG has smashed mid lane, they've smashed top lane, and they're smashing the series.
It's just a lot of G2 looking at the RNG series and saying, listen, we trust a lot in our solo laners to take tough matchups if needed. We know they can beat the other guys. We trust a lot in ganking the bot lane early. That's a way to shut down this team. But it's not the same team they're playing. IG do not need a winning bot lane to do well. They need winning top and mid, and they get winning top, especially here with the Jayce. So I feel like the page Grabs is on, the coach from G2. It's still the RNG page right now that he's reading off instead of actually the IG one.
And it's just the versatility of the team. Like we've seen in the in the previous series across from KT, they played for the late game, they played for the team fight. This time around, they showed what made them so dominant in the LPL, and it was that lane kingdom, the fact that they are a trident team.
And this felt like spring split IG, where they were more dominant and everyone was waiting for them to roll through the LPL, and we couldn't wait to see them on MSI. And then Duke came in because of TheShy's injury. It feels like he's finally reached that form again where you're just terrified of the guy. Like, yes, he's been on Jayce, he's been on Akali, he's been on strong picks, but there's a lot of strong picks. We talk about it this whole World Championship. When we were doing the RNG G2 game, we're like, all right, you can beat RNG as long as you ban Akali and Irelia and Aatrox and Urgot and the list Tahm Kench and Heimerdinger. Yes, the Jayce is a problem, but TheShy is a monster on a lot of picks.
Back in spring, we said that a reason why it was such a big issue when Duke took over is because in draft phase, so many LPL teams would have to leverage bans at TheShy. You almost had to permaban his Jayce. You couldn't let him have it. It made Invictus Gaming such a powerful drafting team because he's there. We're now in a semifinals at Worlds, and G2 are just completely looking past this guy and looking at JackeyLove, who frankly has been like either I'm going to say a little bit of a power int sometimes in his games, flashing forward. I actually think they're making it easier for Invictus Gaming because JackeyLove doesn't get Xayah and Kai'Sa, where you can just dive into a backline and feed.
Right. I mean, it's interesting to me because it seems like now more than ever or any Worlds past, right? The discussion around the best of 5 meta is more relevant than before. In past Worlds, there has been a tournament-wide meta, and there will be small, minor adjustments or wiggle room within that. From series to series to series, it is very clear to me that the team that has the understanding about what is going to be most impactful in this matchup, right? Oh, we don't have to worry about the bot lane anymore. Now we only have to worry about those solo lanes, and IG is the one playing for that in the draft. They're the ones coming away with the victory.
And this is why so many teams are scared of IG, because when their solo laners are performing like this is peak performance from both Rookie and TheShy. It feels almost impossible to deal with them when they get some of these good picks here. Like Jankos tried a little bit in the early game. He walked top lane once, got the first kill on TheShy, then died on the way out, and kind of left the lane alone after that and said, you know what, Wunder, I'm done up here. You're on your own now. And then TheShy completely takes over.
TheShy is your MasterCard player of the game this time around. The other solo laner for IG brings them the W.
Yeah, oh my goodness, especially this play. This could have actually given him a big shutdown bonus. We're wondering, is Perkz going to land the stun or the ultimate?
Sidestep
On the ultimate, then it doesn't matter if he gets stunned because he's actually taken 95% of Perkz' health already. Basically a 1v2 there against the other 2 solo laners.
And that's also the difference now when you play against one of the best teams in the world at performing on things like Jayce compared to what you normally play against. Because most Jayce players that we get to see in Europe or in North America are not even close to being able to do this. You're now dealing with TheShy on it or Rookie, and that's where there's just another level to how to play Jayce that maybe G2 didn't expect.
And Jack, you gave us kind of the disaster scenario for G2 following last game, that because they elected to stay on red side, if they lost that game too, which they did, they wouldn't have side selection. IG remains on blue side. I think that's to be expected. So how does G2 pick up the pieces here?
You ban the Jayce and you ban the Fiora. If you're going to continue, it's exactly what TheShy said. If you're going to continue to prioritize the Aatrox, which can make sense because G2 have shown that it can be a power pick for them, you must clear the pathway for it to actually excel. And right now, they're not clearing the field.
What is my other option? Since we've already kind of hammered that one home, yes, phase 2 bans could be different to secure better matchups there. Is there any sense in moving away from the Aatrox entirely? Does G2 have pocket picks of their own? What's the next step?
I just want to see them blind pick more solo laners. IG's been able to do it. You have to step up. We saw a blind pick LeBlanc. Perkz can do that. I think you can even blind pick Irelia very early because I don't think Shy is going to want to pick a tank counter into it.
Right.
Irelia would have actually had a pretty good chance maybe against Jayce in the top lane if he gets some ganks. And Jankos has to play better. His early game presence has been pretty low.
A very tough situation for G2 to be in. Now, MasterCard wants to celebrate the biggest fans esports has to offer by treating those who make the trip out to support their teams with an upgraded experience by naming them MasterCard Fans of the Day. London natives Toby, Daniel, and Munam flew out for the last 2 weeks of the tournament in hopes of seeing an all-Western final. And that can happen. G2 need to start a reverse sweep in Game 3, though. We'll see if EU reps can set that up after the break.
Never been there.
Perkz going in onto Rookie here, but Taliyah is there. The seismic shot makes it happen in first blood. Oh, he lives!
You're flanking in 5.
I'm popping all.
That's the range now. 3, 2.
I'm not inting.
Okay, nice. Good job.
Good, we get the back as well.
Nice, good job.
TheShy trying to disengage now, but instead for the final round! This man is a monster, and Perkz will be beaten down. Burning it down. 1, 2, 3, couple more hits will do it. G2 looking to make that last stand, but the minions say no, and that's 2-0 Invictus Gaming.
Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. Since we know the importance of lending a hand, we want to highlight players and plays that help the team bring home the big W. If you have a favorite assist from this week that you want us to highlight, tweet the clip with the hashtag StateFarmAssist, and we may feature it in a future episode. So get out there and bring some support.